How are you, Sean?
Good, yeah, good. Thanks, Davey. Yourself?
Yeah, very well, thanks. It's a bad sign when both of us have to do this sitting in the car, isn't it?
When it's gone that bad, I had to get out of one car and get into another one to get away.
You're kept busy with the two young kids at home then.
Yeah, absolutely. But for me, it's obviously a very strange time for everyone. But for me, it's different in the sense that my eldest is a little over 2, and LJ is 1 next week, and I've never had the opportunity to be at home with him when I wasn't injured and rushing back from injury or something like that. Maybe a suspension for a day or two or whatever like that. So it's a bit different to have a prolonged period of time at home for him. It's great. I'm enjoying the time at home with the kids. I never had it before.
Oh, that's good. And how's the jaw and everything now? You rush back to be back in time for Cheltenham. I know you said like physically your body you were fine, was just the jaw and that, but you couldn't ride. But how is that now? Is that any long effects with that?
No, not really. I was chatting in Cheltenham about it, and at that time I still had the braces on, and they were quite awkward. They were basically just wired, a strap on the top and bottom of my gums that were wired in, and the wires were still quite prominent again the back of your lips, and they were quite sore. And just before the lockdown, probably a week or 10 days even after Cheltenham, I got those off. And I didn't really get to know the extent of the difference of my jaw, I suppose, until they came off. And I wouldn't have full range as regarding open my mouth as much as I probably would have had before. But no, it was never really a sore thing. Only the braces were kind of awkward more than else. But yeah, no, it seems fine. I suppose the body doesn't know what's going on. I went from not eating for a month to having a week or 10 days of kind of normal, and now I'm just doing nothing, only sitting around and eating. So body what's going on.
And how is the weight now, Sean?
Look, at touch wood, I generally wouldn't be bad with weight anyway. So I'd always be hanging in around the 10, 3 or 4 mark, and I'm just still always there. Generally, if I'm not racing, I actually lose a bit of weight. I would imagine it's probably muscle or something like that, but I'm still hanging in around the same mark as I always do. So it's good, thank God. Yeah.
Racing's not given a date until the back end of June, but hopefully that might change over the next couple of weeks and get back earlier. But you're riding out a few mornings a week for Noel Meade, and Noel has 30 or 40 in at the minute.
Yeah, he's pushing on the bounds of 40 there. There are all the flat horses in at the minute. A lot of nice 2-year-olds and a couple of 3-year-olds from last year, and a couple of older horses as well. And I would imagine that the jumpers will probably come in the next couple of days. And hopefully start gearing up for a bit of summer jumping. We're all a little bit in the dark, I suppose, in a sense, as when racing is going to be given the green light again. But I'm sure there's obviously a committee there that are working quite strenuously along with the government and the health services to try and do obviously what's right by the public health and I suppose racing. We can only kind of do kind of what we think is right, and Jennifer Pugh is obviously bigly involved in it as well. And we'll turn up and we'll get going when it's safe to do so, I suppose. But it's anxious enough all the time, I suppose.
And Noel obviously has done so well over for God knows how many years now, training top class national hunt horses. But over the last few seasons, he's had very good success with flat horses. Do you take much of an interest in the flat racing yourself, Sean?
Yeah, I'm in there a couple mornings a week now at the minute, and I'm riding plenty of bits of work and all that. And I suppose I'm a massive racing fan. Obviously, flat wouldn't be my primary interest in racing. But then when you're in a place like that, riding plenty of bits of work and all that, you have to start taking a little bit of interest in it. Obviously, if I got off my leg and be 8'4", 8'5", I'd be madly interested in it. But I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, I would have a certain amount of interest. Well, you'd be dealing with the horses every day, so you're going to have a little bit of interest in watching them go and running and different things,
Considering being out for a while with the injury and that as well, you were enjoying a good season. You were at 36 winners before racing finished up in Clonmel back in March. The 2 previous seasons to that, you'd rode close to 60 winners, 56 and 59, I think. So you would have had plenty of more winners left in you with Noel's horses running so well. So you were enjoying quite a good season.
Yeah, look at it. I was I was having probably a good enough season, I thought. Regarding numbers, I might have been a little bit back, I thought. I missed a good few winners in September. I've had a middling season regarding injury. I missed 5 weeks in September with a bad concussion, and then I missed 4 weeks then just before Cheltenham with obviously a broken jaw, and both of them being at the wrong time. You know, Noel's horses were flying in September, especially. It's when Noel is very hot and all these young novice hurdlers were winning, and I've missed a good few of them. So I probably was 7 or 8 winners behind target on years before, but look, you're going to have those years. I was happy enough. I was back every time within a reasonable enough time. I wasn't out for too long, and it was just bad timing. But you know, it could have quite easily been another way. Like I was back from the concussion probably 3 or 4 days before I rode Road to Respect in the North. So I was back just in time, really. I know I missed a few winners, but they're only they're just maidens and different things like that. Like we got back on them afterwards. So yeah, look, a good enough season, and as we're back to zero now again, and whenever racing starts, it'll be all guns blazing for another season, I suppose.
Yeah, most certainly. And you mentioned Road to Respect there. You've rode many of good horses. You have a great record in big handicaps. You've won an awful lot of the big handicaps throughout the country. And Road to Respect's a special horse for you. You've enjoyed many good days on him, Sean.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was reminiscing here last night. Obviously, with no racing on, I was going through the recordings, and the recording win this year's Jane Mine, the North popped up. Like, you know, he's a very special horse to me. Anyway, he's had a little knock, and he'll be back in all guns blazing hopefully for next year. He shouldn't knock anything out of him, you know.
Yeah, that's good to hear. So, any other horses that I know we're quite a while away and you don't want to be thinking too much horses have to come in out of the field, but is there anything that stands out from last season that you're looking forward to next season, Sean?
Yeah, look, he has a lovely bunch of horses going forward. I suppose the horse that I initially came back to ride was Beacon Edge in the race just before Cheltenham in Naas. He could be quite a smart horse. I would imagine he'll improve away as he goes forward. You know, he did get beat that day, but by the horse of Road, he's probably a very smart horse as well. But yeah, no, he's got a very nice bunch of youngsters there going forward. You know, so look, it will be hopeful, as you say, whatever about the actual season, how it goes. We have to get them through the summer first and get them back in and get them going before we know exactly where we stand. But there's still a nice enough bunch of horses there to go forward.
And that nice bunch of horses that you mentioned, Noel had a very good season last season with bumper horses. So I'd say when they go down the maiden hurdle and novice hurdle route there, they'd be some of those that you're mentioning.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, there's a fleet of them there. Really, there's probably 40 or 50 jumpers for the winter again that have had good runs last year. You know, there's several of them. Like, you know, there's just loads of them to look forward to, and as I said, you know, they have to stay sound and things like that have to go forward with them. You know, I suppose there's a few there for the winter, for the summer as well. You know, the Red Menace obviously to come back in again. He won a good chase in Galway last year and the back end of the summer, and he didn't campaign him then really for the winter. He left him out, so he's going to be a nice enough summer type. He actually just in down patch just before racing stopped, the second last day of racing, and he would have been ready to go, so he'll come back in. He's not going to take much to get him back fit again, and he'll be our handicap chaser to look forward to there. He might win a nice pot during summer, you know.
Good stuff. Sean, people that will know, you know, that your hobby away from racing is flying planes. Are you being able to do that through this crisis?
No, general aviation is grounded as well, unfortunately, but I did just read a little thing this morning saying that they're in the second phase, I think, of being opened up. Obviously, you're only in the cockpit on your own and you can kind of go from here to there and whatever. I think now, I'm not 100% sure, it's only just something I read on Facebook. So if that was a thing, it'd be great. I could get out and get going a little bit of that. But yeah, no, it's brilliant. I really do enjoy it. It gets me away from everything, I suppose, a little bit. And I was definitely going to use it this summer. I'm back to you, am I? Yeah. I was definitely going to use it this summer to get around a bit more than anything else. So hopefully if we get back early enough and the weather's not too bad, we can get around a bit with it, you know.
And is that just like a hobby and enjoyment, or is there a long-term target with that when you finish on riding or anything, Sean?
Yeah, no, I do have in the back of my head that it's a long-term target. I have looked into doing my ATBL exams and that, and it's a possibility. There's a place in Dublin there that does them, and they take on people with PPL. So I have to build about 140 odd hours as a PPL first before you can apply to them, and then you can do your theory exams with them, and then you need to go and get ratings and different things like that, and then you apply for a job as a commercial pilot. And I think that's something that I'd like to look into going down the road. It's just something I enjoy. Like I'm very, very lucky that I do a job that I enjoy at the moment, and not many people get to do that. And if I could retire from that healthy and well at some stage and step into another job that I enjoy, to be unreal.
Yeah, very lucky position to be in. Might go racing with you one day then, and we get a video of you flying that plane then.
Yeah,
no,
we'll do that. There's a couple of places, like whether you land into a track or we land in near a track or something like that. Like I flew to Sligo and I flew to Clark, and a few of us tipped on across to Utoxeter one day, Dunamiler and Adam Short. They were passengers, brave passengers, and we landed a little bit near Utoxeter. Got there and back anyway, so it was grand. Although Donner did say he rode a winner over there, and he did say in a pre-race interview that he was going to fly home commercially, that he wouldn't come with me. So in that
Cheers, fair play to you. And what's that like flying yourself across the sea, like over to the UK?
Brilliant buzz, yeah. Like that's it. Like, for me, it's a great buzz anyway, and when you train yourself up for something like that, and then you can use it to go from point A to point B, it's brilliant. Like a lot of your training is just flying kind of from here to there, because you have to for your regulation. When you're doing your exams, you have to fly from say the airport A to B on the way to C, and then back, and it's all just building hours and seeing that you can do things, and it's grand and it's enjoyable when you're doing it. But when you're actually doing it for I want to be here, it's brilliant. So yeah, I'm very lucky to be able to do it, really.
Fair play to you, more power to you. I'm sure, like you said, you're enjoying it, but you'll be able to take something out of it when well, we're a long way away from you stop riding, because you're riding so well and you've age on your side as well. But Sean, thanks very much for taking the time. I know you're busy, you're sitting out in the car. I'm sitting in the car for a different reason from you. You're getting away from the kids. But thanks very much, and hopefully stay safe, yourself and your family, and hopefully we'll see you soon when racing starts back.
Deadly appreciate it. Thanks very much, Davey.